In Kinshasa, Congo, some 102 men were executed by the Congolese government in the last week, and 70 more are set to be executed. The country's Minister of Justice said on Sunday in a statement to the Associated Press. It said the men aged 18 to 35 were armed robbers and urban bandits, locally known as the Kurunas, who were executed in northwest Congo at Angenga prison. 45 were killed in late December, and the remaining 57 were executed recently. A flight of 70 more people from Kinshasa has arrived at Angenga, but the government hasn't commented on the status of the prisoners yet. Minister of Justice Constant Mutawa, who was overseeing the executions, said late Sunday the third batch will be executed, so the first two have already undergone the measure of execution by the death penalty. The government's decision to apply the death penalty has proved divisive. Some have welcomed the measure as a means of restoring order and security in the cities, while others are concerned about the risks of abuse and human rights violations. As you know, these Kurunas, they are like young, more like bandits, the urban robbers. Like when it reached 8 p.m. in the urban cities there in Congo, they are used to use these dangerous weapons such as knife, some even guns, in robbing others. So people have always complained on that. But still, it comes with a lot of critics. One of the residents said, "We welcome this decision by the minister because it will help an end to urban crimes from 8 p.m. onwards. You can't move around freely because you are afraid of running into a Kuruna," said some residents there. In the eastern city of Goma, Espesio Muhinuka, a human rights activist, warned of the possibility of extrajudicial executions and called for a strict respect for judicial procedures and fundamental guarantees. He fears the political pressure could lead to unjust convictions and arbitrary executions. The situation in the DRC, he said, is complex and requires a multi-dimensional approach. The fight against urban gangs must go hand in hand with efforts to combat poverty, unemployment, and social exclusion, which are often contributing factors to crimes, he said. So, the death penalty in the Congo is a sensitive issue The country, as you know, it abolished this this rule in the year 1981, but it was reinstated in 2006, where the last execution took place in 2003, but in March 2024, the Congolese government announced the resumption of capital punishment, the execution. However, the enlisted death penalty was intended to apply to military personnel accused of treason. In May, 8 soldiers were sentenced to death for fleeing the battlefield, and in July, 25 soldiers were convicted of similar offenses, though none of them is known to have been executed. Yeah, so the minister we're talking about is the one you're seeing in the photos. That's the Congolese Minister of Justice. So this Minister of Justice, Constant Mutamba, was the leader of Congo Dynamic Progressive Revolutionary Opposition Platform. He was recently appointed Minister of Justice by President Felix Tshisekedi, replacing Jean-Pierre Bemba,